Welcome to the Straight Up Podcast, the only podcast where two moderately qualified individuals digitally explore cities they've never visited in real life and proceed to have opinions about them. I am your host, Fern and Hahn.
And I'm your co-host, Dar.
Today we are going to be exploring Jakarta. So, Dar, what do you know about Jakarta?
So I have a friend who is like an online friend who lives in Kuala Lumpur, which is to say I know nothing about Jakarta. But I do know geography of Indonesia slightly. I know the islands of Sumatra, Borneo, and Java, mainly from watching BBC documentaries about animals from this area of the world growing up. That's how much I know about Jakarta, which is not much about Jakarta. What about you?
So I'm also vaguely familiar with the geography of the area. I at one point knew the names of the islands and then forgot, and then was reminded by you slightly before we started recording. So that's nice. I believe I've heard that it's like it's sinking, or like it's at sea level, so it's like threatened by sea level rise. I
did hear something about that. I feel like there was a sort of one of those YouTube videos with fancy graphics about it recently, or probably not recently, but like maybe a year or two ago, there was a one of those channels that do like city explainer sort of, or world event sort of explainer kind of things.
Right.
I do know it was the Dutch were involved in this area of the world. If I remember correctly, in some not so savory ways, and I do remember vaguely something about that. The Dutch's inclination to just build everything way too close to water, always,
right,
might have had something to do with that. I'm seeing a lot of canals, just going through the fabric of the city. So
should I get like an overhead shot of the central area? Maybe
let's start with our overhead.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Where we are metaphorically flying, and we're going to drop down.
Yep.
Yeah. It has this particularly red, rusty roof. That was a good alliteration. Has it's these sort of red, rusty roofs or brick tiles seen throughout majority of the city, at least the area that we're in, and I sort of see a reddish color for the entire city. Sometimes cities are more the roofing, not roofing. The roofing just depends on local resources, and sometimes the roofs end up with different colors just depending on what rocks and resources, or also some stuff like heat is also a good indicator of, like, is it absorbing the heat or reflecting the heat? Just different materials and stuff like that. But we guess we don't know too much, but there's only one way to find out more, is there?
That's right. Do you want to... So we've found what we believe to be the central train station. I guess we can drop in now.
Yep, sure.
Cool.
And here's where we're dropping in. Shall we drop in by the little bus loop?
Yeah, I'm dropping in like between the train station house and the loop, like in that little road.
Okay, I see there are some photospheres, so don't get trapped in one of them.
Yep, gotta be careful.
Okay. I am dropping in the photosphere, not the photosphere, on the road directly next to the photosphere that's in the middle of the road. And and I got stuck in a photosphere
Oh no.
immediately.
No.
Let me try again. I'm really good at getting stuck inside of photospheres.
In front of
Let's
train
see.
stations, yeah.
In front of train stations. Oh, okay. I have made it.
Cool. Um, yeah, so what first caught my eye, just because of how I dropped into the street, is that the bus loop seems to be like a high floor BRT station. Like I see
Yes.
like these doors that are raised above the curb level, and people just waiting inside, which is interesting.
I see. I see. Yeah. There must be. Wait. Do we know what people drive? It looks like people drive on the. What side
I
of the road do people drive on here?
I
I
want to
can't
say on the
tell.
left, but I haven't. I think these are one way. Wait, no, there's a two-way road in front of the station, and people do drive on the left. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so people are driving on the left here.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm thinking about what that means for bus boarding in this situation. So it looks like okay, that does make sense. So the buses are going to be coming around the loop, probably the same direction that cars are going,
Hmm.
which means that the high level doors are on the right side of the bus.
Right, because that's the
Um,
median side, I guess.
that's the median side.
Right.
Got it. And then there might be some, steps down to um, a street, a curbside boarding,
Right.
where there might not be. I mean, I'm guessing that most BRT systems do that, where they have ability to high platform board and also curb level board as well. I'm seeing in some places.
Hmm. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Uh, oh, oh no, I'm in a photosphere now, I think. I'm inside the bus station, which is, I'm tempted to stay in here, but I'm going to stay on the street, because
Oh,
I don't know how you're going to get in
give
here.
us a glimpse of what the inside of
Yeah,
the
let me just get a
bus
picture, actually.
station looks like. Is that how you were? Is that where you were to begin with,
No, I
or
was
did
in
you
the
just pop
street,
into
but
there?
I was just wandering around, and it
Oh,
dropped me in here. Hold on, yeah.
I hate when I visit a new city and I get stuck in a photosphere. It's my least.
I know, right? It's so frustrating. It happens every
They
time.
don't tell travelers and tourists about this when you land that when you first arrive.
Yeah,
Um, it's one of those things. Um, Interesting. This is an interesting.
I can
If
maybe
you,
get
from the inside view,
a longer shot just down the.
are there stairs up from the inside?
What do
Because
you mean?
I don't see a way to get to the bus platform on the outside. So my guess is that it must be somehow. Oh, there's a pathway over to it. I was
I'm
just wondering how people
gonna
get.
try to get out of the bus station right now. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Are you? Because I assume you're still on the street.
I'm still on the street looking in from the outside. I am wondering about where people enter this little
Hmm.
BRT station here,
Hmm.
and I found an entrance.
Yes, it
I
looks like
found an entrance.
on the.
Here we go.
I don't know what direction. Is that the north? That's the north side, I believe.
That's the north. There's a north side entrance to it. It looks sort of like um that's a long winding little
Mhm.
passageway. I'm going to try. Oh, I don't know if I can get around it to see what it looks like on the other side. Um Oh, I fell into the street. Actually, I think I fell into a photosphere as well.
Oh
But the
dear.
photosphere has dumped me directly in front of a bus, um, which is
Okay.
convenient. So I will share what I have found, and there, right in plain sight, is the high platform bus boarding.
Yeah, I
Um,
also see a bus, and you were right about there being a little door on the left side of the bus for like curbside, but there's also high level doors on the left side. So I'm assuming they also have like high platform stations that are side boarding, which
oh,
is
okay. So
interesting.
it's on both there. It's on both sides. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing that the primary purpose of these buses is to be high floor buses on
Hmm.
most occasions because there is on looks to be only one low floor boarding door.
Which might honestly just
Um,
be for like the cab for the driver.
oh,
I can't tell
perhaps.
because just from looking at my photo, the driver seems to be pretty low compared to the rest of the bus.
That's true, and that would be good for accessibility
Hmm.
in general
Hmm.
if you're going to be doing that, because it means that somebody who gets on a high platform and needs the high platform or a level sort of platform in order to board will not have to deal with potentially having to go downstairs
Hmm.
in a situation where they are not able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I sort of got out of the way. I was sort of went out of the way on accident. But where shall we go? Are you in the street yet?
I am back in the street. I was thinking we could just follow the flow of traffic towards
Yeah,
the
I had
south.
gone. I had gone. I don't know the version you're seeing, but there is a lot of like construction barriers to the right.
Hmm. Yeah, like between
Um,
the road and
I had.
the bus lane, isn't it?
Yeah, I had briefly ended up down there on the other side. If you look across, I had seen this building. We can maybe come back to it later. But it said the Museum Mandiri on the other
Oh.
side. Like it's like
Oh,
past the bus BRT
yes, yes.
stop, and it had the word Netherlands on it, and I was like, "Oh no, we're about to encounter some colonialism happening right when we get off out of
Oh,
the train."
I don't see that.
Um, it's a little bit hidden down because I got stuck over there for a minute. Should we
Hmm.
go that way or just follow the flow of traffic? Maybe we could just follow the flow of traffic,
I
but
mean,
there is a.
I would say we
I will
follow the
show the building.
flow of traffic just because I don't really know where else, like where you ended up. I'm not sure.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I will show this building and we can leave this building. Seems to be some sort of museum.
Hmm.
Um, Great. All right. Let's follow. I see a blue van. I'm gonna follow the blue van.
Hmm. I'm going toward like that green billboard looking thing that's on that building.
Green billboard looking thing. I am gonna be distracted by something. I found a dollar van or something similar to that. Uh, this blue little van has signs on it
Hmm.
that seem to be leading to the Kota, which I briefly grasped before I turned off labels. This might be cheating. Means station, because on aerial it said Jakarta Kota,
Oh,
and I see that this van says Kota, and so I'm guessing that this van's route is a station route, or it's like a little like a jitney or smaller little private or not. I don't know if it's private, but like little van service that goes to the station.
I actually saw on the bus station. There's a label that says Stasyon Kota. So I'm guessing Kota is the
Oh,
name of the station, and Stasyon is station, just because it sounds similar.
oh, that makes so much more sense.
Um,
That's interesting.
no, I don't know what Kota is. I don't know if it's like the name of a street or the area or what, but
Or central. I don't know. Something like this.
could be.
I do see station there. Huh. Interesting. Well, again, me having wild linguistic theories and being proved wrong in like 5 seconds.
I
This is a
mean,
trend.
given the information you had, it's a valid assumption. Um, okay, yeah, and on the side of the train station, it says that Stasyon Jakarta Kota. So that's just the name of the
Okay.
station. Yeah.
Jakarta Kota. Okay.
Um, cool. Oh,
Oh,
I see
we
the
should.
I
This
see the
is very
museum
cool
Mandiri
little
now.
station.
It's
Yeah.
that big white thing. Okay.
Yeah, and it's big.
Yeah. Yeah.
This road is jam packed.
Oh, it sure
Lots
is.
of motorcycles. Google Street View car looks like it's getting in a car accident. Anyway, shall we continue on down until we see somewhere we can get off this road?
Yeah, I take it you turned left because I think that's the only thing you can really do.
Yeah, that's the way I'm going. And
Okay.
wow, there is a lot of vans crammed with people. These blue vans with
Mhm.
little route numbers on their little lights. Yeah, they have lights on their roof with route numbers.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I see on the side that says Komilet Java because we're on the island of Java. So Komilet, I don't know what that word means, but I'm gonna make a wild linguistic assumption and say it has something to do with the service it's providing,
Mhm.
and Java being the place that they operate in.
I'm actually seeing a van that has a slightly different it's like in a different font, but it seems to say Komilet Jaya.
Oh, it says Jaya. No, my wild linguistic theories are just being disproven. This time by the font not being clear enough.
Okay, I'm looking at the
Wow.
ones you have, and I guess it is pretty. It's kind of faded, yeah. But
I thought it.
I don't know what Jaya
Wow.
means. Java would have made more sense intuitively, but I'm sure it also means something.
Can we? Oh, wait. There's an amazing jaywalking happening, and it looks like it's causing the whole traffic backup we were experiencing.
Oh,
Um, this girl is just absolutely does not care. She's just going for it, and everyone is stopping.
oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I don't know this. I don't know Indonesia particularly well, but I do have a lot of friends who visit the Philippines on a
Mhm.
regular basis,
Mhm.
um, and tell me that you just have to go. You
Mhm.
just start walking. That's just the way that the traffic flows around there. If you don't just start walking and assert your place, um, you're never going to be able to cross.
Mhm.
Um, so it's interesting as we, sort of in America where we have this very, roads are for cars only
Mhm.
sort of enforced existence. It's very interesting to see other countries where it's not really the case as much, even though it looks horribly dangerous, and I would never do it.
Mhm.
It's just a different relationship to crossing the road
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
in these places. And I'm sure this traffic is not moving particularly fast.
yeah. It does not seem to be.
There's just no way that it's doing so.
These little blue vehicles are intriguing to me. Not the vans, but the little three-wheeled ones.
Oh, the tuk tuks, I think they're called.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
They're very popular um, in a lot of places in Asia,
Mhm. Yeah.
Southeast Asia, and South Asia and Southeast Asia, as like sort of uh, a motorized rickshaw.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you can take them as little local taxis, or they do stuff like that. Recently, have seen them pop up in some American cities. It's
Oh yeah.
very funny. Um, yeah, I recently saw some, and I was like, "What?" Really took me I was taken aback for a minute because I did not
It
expect to see them,
took
but
you
they were
aback.
providing tours. Huh?
It took you aback.
It
I'm
took me
sorry.
aback.
Um,
No, 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 no. Do not apologize.
yeah.
That was wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I was tooken aback
Of course they're
by
tuk tuks.
by the presence of the tuk tuks.
I should have. I should have been able to take that piece of information from my brain, but it was just lodged such that
It
it
took
didn't
a
come
moment.
out. Yeah. It took a moment. It sure did.
took a minute.
Yeah.
Um,
They look great though. Like that's a great scale for that kind of
it's a
vehicle.
great scale for urban uh, vehicles.
Yep. Yep.
um, yeah. I had heard. Oh, who is it? It was Mr. City Nerd was talking about how many tuk tuks he saw when he was in Porto
Mm-hmm.
in Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he had seen a lot of them. And so I was like, it sounded like the streets were sort of inundated with them. And then I started seeing them around here, and I was like, what? Um, I again, anybody from Jakarta and sort of the wider Indonesia and probably lots of other countries. I know India has a lot of those. Will probably be listening to our shock at tuk tuks, and well, that's just perspective, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty,
Do you
let's keep
wanna
on
keep going?
going.
Yeah. Great. I'm. We haven't really
I
looked
found
much
an
at. Oh.
overpass.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh,
They're like
you were mentioning something though beforehand.
Oh no, I was just going to mention that we haven't really been looking at the buildings much. I mean, you mentioned the museum, but I guess our side of the street doesn't really have buildings other than that big train
No,
station. At least for now, it looks like they start to populate a little more by the footbridge that you found, which I think actually
it's not just a
might be
footbridge.
connected
It's
to
a
a bus station.
busway. It's
Yeah.
a busway station. And there are lots of little shops by it, which I think this is our favorite thing. Lots of shops next to transit.
Yeah, we love to
So
see it.
we do. So let's see what's around here. I see. Um, we've seen the word Mandiri before, right? We saw that on the museum.
Yeah, that's the museum's name. Is that where did you see that
There is a
here?
place selling motorcycles that's called Mandiri Motor. Um,
Huh. Oh, I see it. Yeah, you're right.
Mandiri Motor, which has lots of signs, has lots of signs. Oh, and our favorite, a sign showing the products. Wonderful.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we have Mandiri. I love this. We have this Mandiri Motor sign, and we can see all the motor oil that you can get here,
Hmm.
just all in a row.
Yeah.
And they have motorcycles, and I'm guessing they do repairs and all sorts of motorized business here. Um, I do appreciate this particular brand. It's because it's called Mizzle, and I think that that's funny.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful. I love that.
Hmm. It's a
Um,
great name.
it's a really good name. Uh,
Oh, the sign on the bus actually says busway, so that's definitely what it is. However, I do see what seem to be private vehicles using the busway, which
oh,
is
let's see. I don't see any in my picture. Where are they? Are they up? Oh, I see
there's just
some
like some
I see
motorcycles and a car.
motorcyclists. Motorcycle. I see. Well, they're not obeying the rules clearly.
I mean, it seems
Unless
like
I
the
don't
busway
know.
has a little less traffic than the main road, so it's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up, but
Well, I don't. It doesn't seem. I want to see if there's a sign that's specifically saying that this is, because I don't see anything that marks the road itself as like an HOV, except for this word that's this sign that seems to be yelling, um,
hmm.
probably telling people not to enter the lane, but it's still happening.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, yeah, it doesn't seem very protected. So I guess what can you expect?
yeah, it's not like they don't have any sort of markings on it. That's whatever.
Hmm.
I'm sure that whoever enters the lane is going to be very unhappy when the bus stops directly in front of them and they can't get
Hmm.
by. So
Hmm.
I'm guessing that there's a combination of I don't see a bus in the bus lane, so I'm going to speed through versus the bus is there, so I'll go around, I guess.
Right.
So
Right.
hopefully it doesn't block up too much stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this is a cool median center. The median is in the center. Why am I being doubly redundant with that? It's a median BRT stop,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is not too far from the station. I can
Hmm.
see the station from this stop.
Hmm.
Um, so it's not providing too much of an express, I'm guessing. It's just seems
Yeah.
like it's actually making pretty local trips. But to run a bus on a road this busy, I'm pretty sure that might have been what it incentivized its construction, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Just, getting
And
stuck
it's
in traffic
it's a
and
plenty
separating
dense
it from
area too.
traffic.
So I assume
Very much so. And
even
with
with
lots of people getting to the station too.
right. Yeah. Even with tight spacing, I'm sure each stop gets decent ridership, which is cool.
Yep.
I'm just continuing
Um
down a little bit. There seems to be like some apartments on upper levels of buildings facing the bus station, and
mhm.
just some more little businesses along the street.
Yeah, there's a whole strip of businesses going down.
Hmm.
This road does definitely look very busy though, so I'm
Hmm.
guessing that might push. I did see instantly, a lot of motorcycle businesses, auto-oriented businesses.
Mm.
I think we've entered a Jakartan strode. Um,
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. I mean, the sidewalk is tiny compared
yeah,
to the road. There does seem to
it's
be
still shockingly
uh
better maintained than some sidewalks I've seen in the U.S. And there are more people
okay,
walking.
true.
There are
Yeah,
more people walking in this road than a road serving a similar purpose in the U.S. for sure.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
you know, how
There
about
does
my
seem to
my goal
be
right now would be cool to find a more of a shopping or pedestrian, more
Mhm,
pedestrian area off the
mhm,
side.
mhm.
So I guess we can continue down until we see some place that might fill that descriptor. But what had you just mentioned?
I was just about to say, like, if you go past the bus station a bit, there is a little break in the median where you can go right. Um,
Oh, it looks
I'm
like it's a little U-turn though.
Oh, is there not a street that?
I don't
Oh,
see
you're
a
right.
street
Okay,
that
never
goes
mind.
down that way.
Never mind.
It's just specifically a U-turn area, which is interesting. Huh.
Okay. Well,
Let's
there is
get
a
a shot of
signal.
this.
Is there? Never
A
mind.
U-turn.
Maybe.
Is there a U-turn signal? That's
No,
interesting.
not here. I was looking down the
Oh,
road and I thought I
further
saw
down.
a signal, but I think I might be mistaken. I don't see anything. Um,
Well, let's just go down. I see another overpass further
mhm,
down. I think
mhm.
that's just another station though.
It might be.
That
Oh,
might be
wait,
the
no.
next
This
BRT.
is a railway.
Oh, that's a railway.
It's electrified too. That's cool.
Hey, look at that. And there are tons of food stands directly underneath it,
Hmm.
underneath the viaduct. Let's go ahead and get this or stands for things, various shops and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Street vendors are something that we are greatly amiss for here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And just in Canada, North America in general.
Yeah. For sure.
Um, and I understand some arguments against allowing them to pop up everywhere, but also let people do their thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think that that's cool that people can, you know, peddle their wares wherever they may be,
Yeah.
um, without having to worry about stuff. So I think it makes it very very cool and vibrant, and in a place you wouldn't expect it.
Hmm.
I would like this is a very busy road, and people are just pulling over off their mopeds and motorcycles just to do this little market under a railway viaduct.
Hmm.
Viaducts in general in U.S. cities are awful because the areas underneath them are quite dark.
Hmm.
Um, though I do remember growing up that there was one flea market that took place uh, under I-5.
Hmm.
It was under I-5. I remember very specifically here in California. It was actually in Sacramento, and it was great. It was amazing because we brought activity and life under viaducts. And I think that viaducts are always going to be something that exists in cities. We can't tunnel literally everything, and there's going to be some road viaducts, and there are going to be some um, rail viaducts or pedestrian overpasses. But being able to bring life to under these places, I think, is really good for overall everybody who has to pass under those. Because if you pass under this viaduct, you're greeted with lots of people bustling, selling things,
Hmm.
instead of just a dark and like sort of cutaway, not very visible space. So
Yeah. 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 I mean,
maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to just allow for street markets in
yeah.
lots more places.
Yeah. Especially like under structures like this, there's basically just goes unused in 99% of cases in North America,
And
which is too
I
bad.
think it's a there's obviously going to be noise, a lot of
Hmm.
noise. It's echoey. There's rumbling on top or whatever.
Hmm.
But if you put on some music, you know, in the area, like get people talking and vibrant, you can kind of drown that stuff out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. I really like that. I think that that's something we could absolutely learn from places like this.
Hmm. Yeah.
Viaducts aren't scary, just not being under them,
Yeah.
not doing things under them, and not making them their own place
Hmm.
is what makes them feel nerve wracking sometimes. I
Hmm.
think Some viaducts are bad. Highway viaducts in urban areas are bad. However,
Yeah,
that's another
yeah,
topic.
it sure is. Yeah, do you wanna keep going a little? I've passed
Yeah,
beyond the viaduct. There's a large like red and white building to the left. With them.
there's a whole building over the road coming up here.
You're right. What is this? Huh.
Yeah, this is looming over the road. Um,
Here, I'll get that.
Good question. I don't know what this is, and that intrigues me. So let's figure out what this is. Is this just a? This isn't housing. Looks more corporate or officey than anything.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe it's there's some like mall or shopping. Maybe this is malls and shopping over the road, and this is the passing point over the road.
Hmm.
Um,
It could be. Yeah.
Looks like maybe an indoor shopping area because I see. I'm looking for any sort of signs of what this building is.
I'm crossing over to the other side of the road, and the building attached to this overpass building thing is just lined with photos of products, looks like.
Yeah, I saw that. Let me cross over. Um,
So,
it's hard to see because there's lots of trees lining
mhm.
this street. Um, but there's just yeah, there's looks to be a graphics like I don't know my computer parts, but like some sort of computer graphics thing with fans.
Hmm.
This is what I see on this side.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then some large billboard space sort of above the road. Um, yeah, it's just a big building. It needed two sides of the road.
Yep. It's
I saw that one as well with the tech products. It might be some techie mall, go get your computer. Oh, it is a mall. It's called the Mall Mangadua. Mall Mangadua.
Mhm. Where did you see it says mall?
On this sign right here, it's sort of past the overpass
Okay.
on the the opposite side of the road.
Hmm. I see.
So it is a mall. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Makes
that
sense.
that figures. Okay. Guess we can keep going.
Sure. Shall we go back to the other side of the? I'm going back to the other side of the road.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another overpass.
There is, and
Another pedestrian.
I'm also seeing like the third A&W sign that I've seen in
Oh,
this stretch of road.
yeah.
I don't know why there's so many. I don't know if there's multiple A&Ws or what's going
Maybe
on.
just one really big A&W here.
Yeah, that spans like the block.
They built it over the pedestrian bridge. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Uh,
I will say, I do love an enclosed overpass. With
yeah.
like, it's good. We need more of them. I think that here in California, we sort of have this assumption that the weather's nice always, and so
Mhm.
we build everything outdoors, which is miserable. It is absolutely miserable
Mhm.
to have everything outdoors all the time because the weather is sometimes bad and
Mhm.
it's sometimes hot and it sometimes rains and stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Like I think specifically to there's an airport in Southern California that's outdoor for most of its like area. Like
Mhm.
it baffles me
Mhm.
that an airport, a place where you're carrying luggage,
Yeah.
would be outdoor. Like, what do you do when it rains? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm.
That you would design spaces like that to be outdoors. And like obviously there are outdoor shopping streets which exist, but they have awnings. Sometimes they have like complete cover-ups over the road
Mhm.
or over the sidewalk, and they have indoor areas, or the sort of some shopping streets have coverings and glass coverings even over the whole sort of area, sort of roofing in the street. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Whether protected areas for pedestrians are really, really nice and they make people want to hang out there,
I mean,
and
also,
stuff.
when you're dealing with a big road like this, there's also the concern of noise,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I'm also looking at there's another busway station actually, just
Yeah.
past, and these are all enclosed. They have like platform doors and stuff, and it looks like that the access bridges aren't, but yeah, I mean, it's just annoying being like even if you're protected from the road itself, just being in proximity to it and with no protection in terms of noise, it's not pleasant. So yeah.
No.
uh,
I've been in many a situation where I really wish that there had been some sort of covering at the very least,
mhm,
while I was out and about.
mhm. Yeah.
And I'm sure that this city receives a lot of rain,
Mhm.
just geographically.
Yeah, it must.
Yeah. There just seems to be no way to exit this street. It's really bizarre.
I know.
I don't. There's been no cross streets.
I'm wondering
Um,
if you just have to take a U-turn and then there will be streets on the other side, but I also don't want to bank on that because
no, me neither. It's
I mean
that's
yeah, it does. At first I was thinking, okay, maybe the rail corridor is to our left, right? Just because of where the
yeah.
train station was. Then I saw that rail viaduct. I don't know if that was a branch or if that was like the main corridor, but it seems like there's just other buildings on our left, and they just are right
I
next to
don't
each
see
other.
ways to get through to that side either.
Yeah.
Do you want to just keep going down until we get out of the situation?
Sure. Yeah. Let's just keep going, I guess. There's just so much to comment on.
I
It's
know there's a lot happening on this road. Um,
okay. I finally. Oh, this is a grade crossing. I found a railway
oh,
grade crossing.
did I miss it? No, I don't think I missed it.
It's
Let me go down till I
probably
find the railway grade crossing you're speaking of, because that is on this road.
yeah. That it surprised me, right? Like, how does that? That must be like. Here, I'll get a picture.
Let me. I keep getting turned around. Let me just. You must have gotten down farther. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, it's just it's an electrified line again. I'm wondering if the whole network is electrified. Probably it is. And yeah, there's just gates and level crossing, which is
It
wild.
looks like the road splits here into two sort of. There's a big old median full of trees in the
Mm-hmm.
center,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah. Wow,
Yep.
interesting.
I also
Would
see a
not have
street
expected
sign
it here.
with what I'm gonna assume are place names and arrows pointing right and left. So I'm hoping that means there's
Yeah.
a road intersection coming up. Indeed, there is.
Let me
Yeah,
go ahead and get that.
there's a little.
It's almost like it's almost like a highway. It's
Mhm.
like very much like a highway. This whole street here that has very few ons and offs.
Mhm. Yeah.
And just has no lights. Just keep on going. Just keep on going. Okay,
Mhm.
so we've entered this area here. Let me see if I can find. Oh, there we go. He's just walking.
Yeah.
He's he's just this does not look like a pleasant place to walk.
No.
He's just going for it though.
Yeah.
This little propane tank. It's super cute. I love this. I
Yeah.
love this little cart. I
Mhm.
no idea what he's selling in there. Maybe some food, snacks, various things. There's
Yeah.
another A&W sign behind you, by the way. We
There
should get a
is.
picture of at least one of these A&W signs because they're
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 just
so
everywhere.
confusing to me. I don't get it. Guess it's just an A&W's there.
I guess so.
So we get to this big old Are there no lights here? There are barely any lights here. Oh, yes, there are.
There's a few signals, but they're pretty sparse for for the size of this
Yeah,
intersection. Um,
definitely.
I
This
don't know if you want to
intersection is
go.
very big. Which way do we want to go?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. It looks like most of the traffic is going right, but I don't know if you necessarily want to follow that or if you want to go the other way. It's
I
I'm really not sure.
I found somewhere we could potentially go. Do you see the big sign that says space available and then the number?
Oh, do you want to go down that little street?
Yeah, you can go in there. I double tapped
Oh, wow.
the
Okay.
little motorcyclist coming out of there. Oh, yep, I got there. I made it there.
Okay, so
So this
you're
is
on the
some sort of
little
back alley.
yeah, that little alley with like the pavers on the ground.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is what I see. I see this yellow Mitsubishi truck parked on the left. Um,
Hmm.
do you want to just go down this way?
Yeah. Yeah, I would be down. I'm curious what
Sure.
this it's a bit of a change of pace from
Like
the
anybody in Jakarta watching this being like, no, don't go in the deck alley. It just looks very industrial.
It does. It yeah, it really does not it doesn't look like a street. It seems to be the back of whatever this big glass building on the left is.
Yeah,
Like the
true.
loading
Lots of
areas. Oh,
yeah.
just got that.
I guess we could go just follow this alley, this loading alley, all the way down and see what's on the other side because it's mostly just sheds and stuff like that
Yeah, it must
all
lead
the way down.
somewhere. I would think.
Yeah,
Let's see. Oh, okay.
there are plenty of people working. I've seen not plenty, but a couple people working on stuff back here.
It seems to turn left.
Um,
So I'm turning
It
left.
does turn left.
That's what
I'll
you.
turn left as well.
Okay, and then it comes to a T
Lots of
intersection
trucks.
with another alley. I don't know if you want to keep going or turn. Probably let's just keep going, I guess.
Let's just keep going down. There are a lot of people working in sheds. I'm just very surprised that a Google Street View car came down this way.
Yeah, there
in
seems to be
general.
a big park or something to our right. I don't know what.
Oh, I see. Let's get a shot of this. It looks like there's a walking path to the right. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Here we
It's
go.
pleasant.
And this is sort of on the other side. In this alley, does this alley end? Oh no, it keeps going. Keeps
Yeah.
going all the way down.
Yeah.
Alrighty. These big glass buildings continue. What else?
I'm assuming it's just gonna dump us back to the main road at some point because we've just been
Yeah, we're
curving
arcing
left.
around.
Yeah.
We have arced.
Yep.
We have successfully arced. Shall we just keep going until we're back on
Yep.
something main road wise?
Yep. I
Oh, well, I'm in a parking
came out
lot.
to some
Lovely.
parking lot. Yep. And I see the main road, but I'm not sure how to get there. I see the Starbucks coffee sign that we saw from the intersection, or that I noticed at least.
I found the way in. It's this little checkpoint zone.
Oh, yep. Got it. Okay. Let's
Oh,
just
there
head
is a
out, I guess,
Starbucks.
or
It's very interesting to see the stuff that we're familiar with, like the A&W and the Starbucks juxtaposed, and obviously places that we have no real familiarity with.
yeah, looks to be in the
There's a Starbucks in this
ground
very
level.
modern construction building. I gotta get a picture. This is great. This seems to be a very like prefabricated. Oh, you already got it.
Oh,
It's very
yeah.
prefabricated sort of
Yeah.
modern building. And then on the back
the-
side, you have the alley, which we were just in.
And on the left of to the left of the Starbucks building, there's this nice old building. I'm not sure what it is, but it's
Yes. I
pretty
was
different
thinking-
in
let's
style
get a
from all
look at it.
the glass ones. They're pretty different.
Yeah. Let
Look.
me take a look at it as well. It's very nice.
Yeah.
All
Guess
right.
I'll
Well,
I'll get the
we're
screenshot.
reaching about to the 45-minute mark.
Okay.
So
Cool.
our new we're adding a little different ending to our format. Before we just sort of made our conclusions just only based on what we had seen and did no other research and just came to conclusions. But I think we discussed it and we sort of said that's a little unfair because there are some stuff that we definitely can miss. And it is cool to compare our conclusions on just what we saw on the ground versus a little bit more of a aerial zoomed out conclusion. So shall we leave the ground and go back up to our airplane flying over Jakarta?
Yes, let's do that. And should we turn on labels or?
Let's turn on labels. Let's see where we are. Let's see what we can do. And obviously, labels is not going to give us everything out there, but it is going to do something to give us a bit more of a grasp of it. So here is a zoomed out view so we can all see with all the labels now. It is huge. This urbanized area is massive.
Yeah.
It just goes and goes and goes in all different directions. I mean, zooming out over the whole island, it's just visible from space.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jakarta is a huge city.
Mm-hmm.
There's a massive national monument.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this massive green cutout?
Yes, with like the cross and the square.
I wonder what this looks like on the ground level, if that's a way to get to it.
To see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see what this looks like. It's for Indonesian independence.
This is very big.
That is big.
Yeah.
That's what I'm grasping. Things are just really large in this city. You can see lots of like towers popping up, though they are a bit sparse. Like the big towers are a bit sparse in this area. Looks like there's a lot of big governmental buildings in this area. City Hall, National Library, stuff like that. In this sort of national monument area. And then branching out from there, you'll see neighborhoods upon neighborhoods upon neighborhoods. It's just sprawling and huge. I'm going to see what the actual city limit of Jakarta proper looks like within this. Oh, yeah, it's almost the whole thing. So just so we can have a view of what is Jakarta and what is not Jakarta, this is what is considered the city proper, and then everything else outside of that is, just sprawling beyond it. Line looks pretty arbitrary to me. There doesn't seem to be the line is just drawn. The line goes through buildings. It's not a logical place.
I mean, I'm sure it made sense when the city was smaller.
There's a river and stuff that does seem to outline some of the border, but some of the border just goes through places. No, actually, a lot of it follows creeks and rivers that are just sort of patchworked together. I see there are some straighter edges, but there are some definitely that follow natural geography through this area. So, yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah. I'm just noticing how very far north we were. Compared to like everything, like we were really, I mean, I guess we dropped by pretty close to the coast, so it makes sense, but just looking at the scale of the city, it makes clear.
And I now see that there's a region called Kota Tua. Kota Tua. It says Kota Tua is Jakarta's old town.
Okay. Makes sense
Kota
why
Tua centers on Fathahillah Square. Yeah, so it's sort of a old town region, which is probably where, obviously, that's where the station gets its name and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And I guess it's just just grown from there. Seems like the new center is probably around the national monument. If I had to guess.
I see that as well. There's a lot of high-rise. A lot of high-rise development around that area, and it does look like it's developed in a slightly more modern and planned style, where the
Hmm.
rest of the city is definitely not top down planned at all.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, at least for the most part, I see a lot of, there are some highways going through and everything like that, but a lot of these streets, specifically around this area and the Old Town area, are just sort of your humans just want to wander through passageways, basically.
Hmm. Right.
Very street level of everything, no top
Hmm.
down uh, grids, or there are grids in some places for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but most of those, I'm sure, are newer developments.
Hmm. Probably. Yeah.
Thinking of anything else I see. I didn't get any burning questions really when we were on the ground
Hmm.
about stuff that I would have to research or anything afterwards. Um,
Yeah. No. I mean, I am a little sad that we didn't really get to go into the neighborhoods that much.
yeah, we did get really stuck on that road.
Yeah.
It was just hard to find a way off of it.
Yeah.
We looked pretty hard.
I mean, the road had
Looking at it
plenty,
now, I mean,
plenty to look
looking
at.
at it now overhead, it makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, I'll give a shot of sort of the places that we were around that grade crossing and everything like that. It looks like it's very separated from roads.
Hmm.
There is this development, or bizarre to call it development, housing and stuff that exists between the two rail lines looks insanely dense.
Hmm.
It looks incredibly dense to the point you can't even see roads. There are seemingly no roads through it.
Hmm.
Um, it just looks like to me that these places are so tightly compacted that the reasons why we can't get into residential neighborhoods is because they don't allow for cars, really. And I mean, just I cannot find a single. There is no place to drop down between those two rail lines because it's just jam packed.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the closest place I can get is just north of the rail lines, and
Hmm.
I'll see if I can get into its farthest extent. Um, but I think it'll probably, once I get down here, it'll be apparent as to why. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. This is a tiny street.
this is this is this is no way you can drive here. This is tiny. This is amazing.
This is really cool.
This makes my brain happy
Yeah.
because it's so human scaled.
Hmm.
And I mean, yeah, this road, everything branching off of it you see is just like weaving pathways between houses and in places you just can't go in a vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people, definitely more, you know, Western planned city minded places, um, will see places like this that are have a more ramshackle construction in our perspective, um, and write them off as, slums. And I think favelas is the term we get from Brazil for
Hmm.
these sorts of places. Um, and I kind of hate that
Yeah.
perspective on these places
Yeah.
because they are kind of very human places. They're like the most human of human places. It's sort of our everything is probably built by the people who live there.
Hmm.
Its shops are human scale. You walk everywhere or ride your little motorcycle very, very slowly through the
Hmm.
weaving streets. Um, and even if places like this do have their own problems and their struggles, that there is a lot to learn from them. Um,
Certainly.
they're places where I think it's where community thrives, and places where um, that people feel like they can belong. And you ask people that live in these, even if I look back to neighborhoods in the U.S. that were cleared for, slum clearance and stuff like that, when we decided that anything built by, oh, it was a rooster, anything built by the community is somehow, wrong and bad, and that we can't support it because, you know, stuff like that. It's hard to articulate, um,
Hmm.
but I see, a lot of really, and there's just people everywhere, and everyone is, selling things and walking around, and it just looks great.
It does. Yeah.
It makes our wide roads here in the U.S. and lack of community make a lot of sense. When you see places with children playing in the streets and adults at food stands, and you realize that life is actually pretty simple sometimes. It's about, being with people and eating good food and stuff.
Right.
With your neighbors. Like, I don't know. It's a perspective that we just really don't get in places that don't allow for real dense pedestrian areas to exist. So
yeah,
they can be done right. They can be absolutely done right.
Yeah.
That's my major takeaway about our little final excursion, because we wouldn't have been able to get to this place, and we can't get to most of it. And that's one limitation of this format, where we are kind of stuck on the streets a little bit. And if we wanted to experience what goes on in this little patch of human city, we'd have to go there, because we can't see it from where we are.
Yep.
We'd have to really go there. And I think that this city actually, out of the ones I've looked at so far, is one where I'm like, I want to be in that little place, because we can't. It feels out of reach. So yeah, that's how I've been left feeling after seeing this little area.
Yeah. I'm not sure I have anything to add to what you've said. This just looks so. Yeah, I just want to be there. I want to explore, get lost in it, probably find my way out, and
hopefully, or not. We just move in. Move in.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that. They've already had enough people try to move into their land over their history, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's just cool, like, how much can happen in such a small space. And how we've, mostly artificially limited ourselves in that respect over here, in terms of like what we can do with a space. It's really, this is probably not the best word, but it strikes me as really inefficient.
I think that's a fair point. I think that we saw stuff like this happen naturally, and we saw the apparent negative externalities of it, and we decided to outlaw it instead of encouraging it to happen in ways that can make it self-sustainable. Like, there should be the negative assumptions that we have about places like this in the U.S. come from, and I'm sure in Canada as well, U.S. and Canada sort of have an intertwined history of this kind of stuff, and I think that dismissing these places as somehow bad places, overcrowding. You hear stuff about overcrowding a lot. Oh, it's overcrowded. Bringing up very specific fringe examples of places that have been seriously and dangerously overcrowded, which it exists. Overcrowding does exist, and it can cause problems. But to write off an entire community-oriented style of development just because it has some struggles, I think is dismissive and discounts so much of what makes these places where people live their lives and work and raise families and do those sort of basic, not even basic, but like basic is not the right word, it has a bit of a negative connotation, but the essential parts of life happen in these places, and I think we should respect that.
It's obviously no type of development is I mean, some types of development are better than others. No type of development
Yeah.
is without its problems, is what I meant.
Yeah.
But there's really there's nothing to get out of completely. I mean, just like going all in on one kind of development is not good. It's also probably not good to completely avoid everything about a certain style, especially if it's a style that's occurred organically throughout human history and not something that has been manufactured in the interest of questionable. I don't know where I'm going, but I think
I know what you're
I
going.
think,
It's just cars.
yeah.
auto
It ends up being
oriented
cars, doesn't
development.
it? Yeah.
It ends up being with cars a little
Yeah.
bit too much.
Yeah.
As a podcast that is branded completely with like street signs,
Mm-hmm.
we are not car people. We are very much pedestrian people more
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully
in
that's
places that are designed.
been apparent, but in case any
If
of
it
you
hasn't
need
been,
confirm,
and you're somehow listening to us to learn about how cool roads are, now is your sign that this is not your podcast.
or maybe stick around and learn. I don't know.
I don't know. Change your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I doubt there's any such people listening in, but you never know.
A few will stumble in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Looks
Well,
like
what have we learned? Let's do a final
Yeah.
section. What have we learned from Jakarta today?
Ooh, I'm not sure where to start, honestly. I guess
BRT. We've
yes,
learned BRT.
BRT is a thing.
High floor BRT.
Uh,
Grade crossings on insane roads are possible.
Probably not advisable, but
Not
it can be
advisable,
done.
but it can be done.
I think just like letting people use urban space,
Yes.
right? Like, I mean, not
Yes, exactly.
not to go full on like libertarian or anything, because that's terrible. But like, to an extent, you just let the people of your city use the city and use the space, and use it for community and for all whatever they need to do with it. Like, it's just great to see every
Maybe
little
city
corner.
is for fun.
City is absolutely for fun.
City is for fun.
And it's cool seeing these little spots of like basically every space. I mean, I guess the roads are quite large, but aside from that,
But even there, I mean, we saw people with mobile carts for their business. We saw people under viaducts. We saw people on the side of almost every road, even in these places which are probably very loud and dangerous in terms of car traffic and stuff like that. We saw people staking their little place of city for themselves.
Yeah.
And these neighborhoods as well, which I think have that quality dialed up, even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it couldn't have been better said. Let the citizens do what they want in the city.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there has to be there needs to be rules and regulations about some things, but Jesus Christ, is it excessive the way we've done it in this part of the world?
Yeah. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. You know, that's what I always say is don't let the fact that changing something or doing something in a different way will have some things that need to be worked out, and it will not always be perfect, but trend in the right direction at least.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot to learn from this style of development, and I'm sure many people will look at our opinions and say, but Fern and Dar, this is how it works in lots of places, and that's what we're here to find out. We're here to find out about how these things that we first see in Jakarta will be seen everywhere. We'll see them in all sorts of places that we visit, and so follow us as we continue to open our eyes to different places around the world and appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
A little sentimental there.
I mean, I can't wait to just see different permutations of what is essentially the same thing. Just like, I mean, a city is a city, but it just, depending on where you are, it's, I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, but it's just so cool. I love cities. They're great.
Me too.
And
we should start a podcast about that.
We should totally start a podcast. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to like building up just like I think the more cities we explore and the more different cities we explore, hopefully we'll just like have a lot to draw from.
Developing our palette in a sense of what to even look for, because I think that as of right now, you know, we have a lot of things that we already look for in city design, but I think a lot of that is our North American perspective,
right?
And
you know, like,
if you could drop me down anywhere in any city in North America, and I could tell you a lot about even stuff like when I thought parts of the city were developed because of my familiarity with it. I could see, you know, road design and development patterns and zoning from space because I'm so familiar with looking at American cities and living in American cities and seeing how they work, that from a top, even a space level, I can sort of understand it. You know, you can see the warehouse district, you can see the single family housing, you can see the historic grids tucked within spiraling suburbs. Like, you know, you can understand it because we're familiar with it, because that's the places that we grew up in.
Right.
But places like this, we don't have that. We don't have the understanding of these places. And I'm looking at these and I see grids here and natural streets here and stuff like that. And I don't really know what it means yet. And I am a little excited. I'm a bit excited.
Yeah.
To find out what all these things mean, both from top-down view, obviously, but also exploring on the street.
Yeah.
This is so hopeful. I feel so full of hope. This is a hopeful message.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look forward to the consequences of this podcast on the way that I think about this stuff. I think will be interesting.
Yep. We'll undoubtedly be better off because of it, I think. We are. I already feel like we are, at least partially. We'll find more ways to articulate what we see and feel and understand as we go.
Yep.
And if anyone is listening and has any comments about this stuff and any suggestions for where to go next to further expand our understanding of the cities of the world and all of that fun stuff, please feel free to leave it in the comments below or shout at us on social media or places.
Okay, that should about do it, unless you have any closing remarks beyond that.
Nope. We don't know where we are going next, so decide for us or we will decide.
Yes,
for
always.
Us. And I guess we'll catch you in the next episode of the Street Up Podcast.
Yes. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.